Are you tired of living your life on everyone else's terms? Always saying yes when you're dying to say no. Always smiling on the outside but broken on the inside. You're not alone. Millions of people are trapped in the silent prison of people-pleasing. But here's the truth. You weren't created to live for others' approval. You were created to live in freedom, purpose, and authenticity. Today, we're going to break down what people-pleasing really is, why it's so dangerous, and how you can finally break free to live the life you were meant to live. What is people-pleasing? Understanding the trap. People-pleasing is when you constantly prioritize others' needs, desires, and opinions over your own, not out of love, but out of fear. It looks like saying yes to commitments you hate, smiling when you're in pain, changing who you are to fit in, apologizing for things that aren't your fault. Root issue right pointing arrow fear of rejection, disapproval, or abandonment. It's not kindness when it costs you your peace. It's slavery. 2. Why do we become people pleasers? The root causes. A. Childhood conditioning. Many were taught, be good, be quiet, behave well so people like you. Love often felt conditional on performance. B. Fear of rejection and abandonment. People pleasers crave safety and security. Rejection feels like death to them. C. Low self-worth. Belief. I am valuable only when others approve of me. Without validation, they feel worthless. D. Culture and society. Social media magnifies the need for approval, likes, comments, shares. In some cultures, saying no is seen as disrespect. The problem with living for people's approval is that the same people who praise you today can crucify you tomorrow. 3. The hidden costs of people-pleasing, why it's dangerous. A. Loss of identity. You forget who you are. You become a mirror of others' expectations. B. Emotional burnout. Constantly drained, anxious, resentful. Pretending to be okay is exhausting. C. Broken boundaries. People use you because you can't say no. You attract manipulators. D. Missed purpose. You spend your life living someone else's script. Your God-given destiny remains unfulfilled. Illustration. Imagine a singer with a powerful voice who spends her life lip-syncing to please a crowd. She dies never singing her own song. That's the tragedy of people-pleasing. 4. Signs you might be a people-pleaser. You struggle to say no. You apologize excessively. You avoid conflict at all costs. You feel guilty for resting or prioritizing yourself. You measure your worth by how others feel about you. If you always have to explain yourself, you're trapped. Real freedom doesn't need justification. 5. How to break free, step-by-step transformation. Step 1. Recognize the lie. Truth. Your worth is not defined by others. Quote. You are not responsible for other people's happiness at the cost of your own. Step 2. Pause before you say yes. Ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Am I doing this out of fear or love? Will this drain me or fulfill me? Step 3. Start with small no's. Example. Decline an invitation politely. Say, I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit to that right now. Build courage gradually. Step 4. Redefine self-worth. Worth isn't in approval. It's in identity. For faith-based audiences, you are loved by God unconditionally. Step 5. Build healthy boundaries. Boundaries protect your peace. Say no without over-explaining. Step 6. Reframe rejection. Rejection does not equal failure. Rejection is redirection toward what fits your life and purpose. 6. The freedom of authentic living. Authenticity attracts the right people. You gain peace, no more pretending. Respect people value those with boundaries. Clarity, you know what truly matters. Purpose, you live your calling, not others' demands. When you stop living for others, you start living for yourself and for the God who created you uniquely. Inspirational real-life example. The story of Sarah. Sarah was known as the yes person in her family, at work, and among friends. She was always available babysitting nieces and nephews at the last minute, working late when her boss asked, lending money even when she didn't have enough for herself, and attending every social event so no one felt disappointed. On the outside, Sarah looked like the perfect friend and daughter. Everyone praised her. She's so kind, so dependable, so sweet. But on the inside, Sarah was exhausted. She had no time for herself. Her dream of starting a small bakery business kept being pushed aside because she was constantly living for other people. One day, Sarah broke down crying in her car after another long week of doing things she didn't want to do. She asked herself, why am I always living for others, but never for me? That moment became her turning point. She started therapy, read books on boundaries, and began practicing saying no, starting small. She told her boss she could no longer stay late every night. She told her family she loved them but needed personal time. She skipped a party to rest, even though her friends called her selfish. At first, people pushed back. Some got upset. But over time, they adjusted. And something amazing happened. Sarah finally launched her bakery. Today, she's running her own small business, doing what she loves, and feeling more fulfilled than ever. Her lesson: when I stopped seeking everyone's approval, I found my freedom. The people who truly love me stayed. The ones who only loved me for what I did for them drifted away. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Celebrity real life example: Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, one of the world's biggest pop stars, has openly spoken about her struggles with people pleasing and approval seeking early in her career. When she first entered the music industry, producers, executives, and even some fans wanted her to tone down her creativity. They told her she was too weird, too different, too unconventional. She admitted in interviews that she tried to fit in at first, dressing and performing in ways that would be more acceptable, so people wouldn't reject her. But deep down, Gaga felt trapped. She realized she was losing her authentic self, all for the sake of being liked. That's when she made a bold decision. She stopped chasing approval and started embracing her uniqueness. Outrageous fashion, wild performances, and unapologetic self-expression. At first, people criticized her. Some called her crazy and too much. But eventually, the very things people mocked became the signature style that made her a global icon. Today, Lady Gaga is celebrated not just for her music, but for her authenticity and courage. She once said, "At the end of the day, you won't be happy unless you love yourself first. Approval from others will never be enough." And that's the truth. Approval is like a drug: the more you get, the more you crave. But it never fills the emptiness. Because people's opinions change like the wind. One day they love you, the next day they criticize you. But when you choose to live authentically, when you stop living for their applause and start living for your purpose, you find a deeper kind of freedom. Yes, some people will walk away. Yes, some will misunderstand you. But the ones who stay, they'll love you for who you really are. So let me ask you, are you living for the claps of the crowd, or for the peace of your soul? The moment you stop living for people's approval, you start living your true life. Be bold. Be authentic. Be free. Your worth is not up for negotiation. Live authentically. If you find value in this content, don't forget to watch, subscribe, like, comment and share for more real issues with UG.